evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. As always, I want to start the show by giving a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit to all. However, I do this content. You can either catch it live or catch it on the playback. I also want to let everybody know that the subscriber only mode has been enabled. Is the following. If you are not a subscriber to this channel, if you wish to comment on the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. And again, the whole point is to try to limit entry by the trolls. Now, before we do get into tonight's topic, there's a few things I must take care of. First of all, I just want to let everybody know that well, for most of us, the holiday season is a happy time. It's a good time. We're with families, we're with loved ones, we're gathering together. It's a time of fellowship. It's a time of rejoicing. It's a time of enjoying good food. And some of us who believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, it is a reminder to help us remember the birth of someone who changed our life. However, we must all bear in mind that for some people, this is not a happy time. This is a depressing time. There are people who are dealing with depression. They have lost loved ones. They have lost livelihoods. There have been relationships which have ended. There are family members who have become estranged. So for some people, this is not a very joyful time. So if there is anybody among us that's going through difficult times, let's be patient. Let's give them a lot of understanding and space whenever needed. And of course, there are many resources available in case you need counseling and things of that nature. Please feel free and don't be embarrassed if you need help. Okay. So, that being said, before we get into the topic, we're going to have another episode of What the. Okay. Last week, in fact, Friday, Arizona State Christian Seminar announced that she was leaving the Democratic Party and that she was going to become an independent, and that supposedly she's going to caucus with the Democratic Party. Let's make this perfectly clear. She's a Democrat in name only. Okay. She, along with mentioned from West Virginia have done a great deal to try to damage and prevent the president from achieving his goals, among them having a national minimum wage of $15 an hour, also trying to create a bigger infrastructure bill. Um, and the fact of the matter is, it appears that she has sold her soul to special interest groups. So, I mean, when everything is said and done, um, nothing is going to get done really for the next 2 years due to the fact that the Republicans have control of the House and the Democrats have, well, control of the Senate. But let's keep it real. Um, the Republicans in the House has the smallest majority conceivable. So if a couple of them resign or a couple of the great ranks, then whatever they want to do goes into the junk heap. So that's the situation. And the fact of the matter is, she is a Democrat in name only. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not a big fan of either parties. I think other parties have a lot of issues, and to continue as long as they do not allow viable third parties to function. But that being said, I just want to give you my point of view. Okay. Now, since we have done that, we're going to get into the main topic. Actually, so the main topic is what pushes your buttons. In other words, what are the things that annoy you? Because we all have things that causes us to be annoyed. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be sharing some things that tend to push our buttons. Now, before I do that, I do want to make a change as far as scheduling. Now, I did schedule a theme for Sunday regarding um, who are the MGMs. And for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar, what is the term? MGMs is referring to multi-generational mixed people. Okay, so I was going to do a stream on the subject. I'm not going to do that. Actually, if you want to get some content in regards to that topic, I would suggest that you watch the Future's Golden streams. She does talk about it, and being that she is an NGM, she will be a better person to learn about as far as who they are and what are those issues. Uh, so Sunday at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be discussing what is La Noche Buena. Now, to our non-Latino members of the uncommon folk, that is referring to Christmas Eve. The literal translation of La Noche Buena is the good night. So I'm going to be discussing that. And if any of our non-Latino common folk brethren and sisters wish to learn more about La Noche Buena, make sure that you catch the stream Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live, or you can catch it on the playback. I just want to let everybody know that the link is in the chat, so if anyone wishes to join the panel, they may do so. I do need to discuss what are the rules of the channel. Number one, don't overtalk anyone on the panel. Number two, Don't disrespect anyone on the panel or on the chat. Number three, if you decide to use as your avatar male or female in a panel, you will be removed. And number four, try to stick to the topic, please, and no discussion regarding FBA. I mean, you want to talk about FBA, you can go on other streams and do so. Let's talk about what are the things that pushes your buttons. There are over. I decided to cut down over 20 things. However, there might be other things that might push your buttons as well. I do want to acknowledge the fact that there's currently 5 people watching the stream, and I just want to say to all those people, thank you very much. I do hope that you would consider joining the panel if you wish to share. The first thing that can push people's buttons is when they overtalk you. Okay? Now, we have come across people who, let's keep it clear, they love to talk and talk and talk, and sometimes they get into a 5-hour discussion, and we have the filibuster. So the problem is sometimes these people talk and talk and talk so long that you forget your own point. You forget what you wanted to say, because you push up and let other people speak. So that could be bothersome. And we have seen this on other platforms, and even on this one to a certain extent, when people go on and on and on, and I, as a host, I have to like cut in. It's like, can we get to the point, please? There are other people on the panel, and they should be having an opportunity to speak. So that's one thing. When people overtalk you, it is almost like your opinion does not matter. Okay, but we know for a fact that here on this platform, everyone's views matter, and we may not always agree, but the key is to be agreeable when we disagree. Okay, so that's one thing that might push some people's buttons. Okay, another thing, and it's very similar to the first one, when people are okay. In other words, you're speaking, you're expressing your point of view, and then someone comes in and starts to speak. Okay. For some people, that could be very annoying. First of all, because you're interrupting their train of thought. Second of all, sometimes they forget what they was trying to say because someone cut in. So, rude to each other. Okay. Another thing that can push people's buttons is when they have unreasonable expectations. And let me explain to you what that means. There may be times where we'll ask other people to do things. Okay. Many times it's something that it could be done, provided that you give the person enough notice, providing that you give the person enough time to do what needs to be done, considering what it is that you are requesting. What gets to be a problem is the fact that you have people who make a request and they want that request to be honored instantaneously. Okay. Not sometimes that's not always possible. First of all, All of us have lives. All of us have things to do. All of us have responsibilities to uphold. Okay. So sometimes you may have to be patient and just wait until whatever needs to be done is done. Unfortunately, we're living at an age where people want things done yesterday, and then they get upset when they don't receive what they're asking um, ASAP. And again, people, that's why I have some reasonable expectations regarding what we are asking. Another thing that can push people's buttons is when they take your stuff without your permission, whether it be clothing, whether it be food, whether it be the remote control, whether it be a beverage, whether it be an article of clothing. Okay, for some people, when you do that, it can offend them to no end. Okay, and the reason why I think it's pretty clear, because what you're doing is you're taking something that does not belong to you, and you're appropriating it for your own use. Many times, if you just simply ask the person, "May I borrow this? May I have that?" Most of the time, they will allow you to take what it is that you are requesting. What gets to be an issue is when people take without asking permission, and that could be a nuisance to some people. Okay. Another thing that can push your people's buttons is lying. And what is the definition of a lie? Is when you do not speak the truth. Whether it be to save face, whether it be to cast aspersion on people, or whatever. When you lie, what you are doing is you take stating something that's not true. And what happens is when you do lie, eventually when you do decide to tell the truth, no one is going to believe you simply due to the fact that you have lied. So therefore, they have no idea knowing whether you're being truthful or you're making false claims. Okay. So one example of that is earlier this year, a certain YouTube creator made the accusation that I was racist. However, when requested to produce the evidence or the receipt, none was provided. And unfortunately, that person never recanted. So as a result, this person has been banned from the platform and will never appear on the platform as long as I have anything to say about it. So lying is not okay. Sometimes people lie for many reasons, but the bottom line, it is better to simply say the truth and accept the consequences of saying that truth. Okay. Another thing that can push people like to no end is when they do not respect their views or their boundaries. Now, the reason why that could really push people's buttons is because basically what you're doing is you're not validating their existence. You're not validating their belief. Okay, one of the things I'm happy about this platform is that we strive to respect everyone's views because everyone's views does matter. Okay. And we can all, we may disagree at all. What gets to be a problem is when we do not respect other people's point of view. And what I mean by respecting boundaries, or not respect boundaries, is when we impose on them for whatever reason, whether it be to make unreasonable requests about our time, about energy, of our resources. Or it's like if you are in a relationship and then someone tries to meddle into your relationship. That's an example of not respecting your boundaries. And no one likes that. And to be perfectly fair, okay, when you don't respect people's boundaries, you're basically saying that you don't value their point of view, you don't value their feelings, you don't value their perspectives. And we have seen this already in these YouTube streets with certain characters, certain individuals did not respect the boundaries of others. And we have seen the consequences of that action. With people getting into arguments, people getting into beefs, and friendships ending because people choose not to respect boundaries. Another thing that can push people's buttons is making false claims, which is similar to a certain extent to lying. Okay. Again, I'll give you an example of what I mean by false claims, which is when people make an accusation that I am a racist without producing the evidence. That's a perfect example of that. Or when people say that they're this and they're that, but yet they don't produce the evidence to show to verify that assertion. Okay, and that is a real problem for some people. Okay, and we see this all the time when certain YouTube creators made false claims in regards to a person's identity, in regards to a person's sexual orientation, in regards to what is their affiliation. We have seen here examples when people have been questioned regarding their ethnicity for people without valid cause or explanation. Okay. So people will do that, and they should think twice before doing that sort of thing. Another thing that can push people's buttons is when they get emotional when confronted with the facts. Okay, now let me just give you an example. We have seen here on these YouTube streets individuals when they confronted with the truth regarding a situation, or a belief or something of that nature. They tend to get into the emotional, they tend to get upset, they tend to lash out on people because they choose not to argue with facts, but simply to get give an emotional response. Okay. I'm going to give you um, a case of point. There have been certain there have been certain YouTube creators that express a point of view. They have provided evidence to support what is their hypothesis, and instead of coming in with logical arguments, people have gotten emotional, and people got into yelling matches. And when you're debating somebody, and if you get emotional, you already lost the debate. You might as well just simply call it a night if you're gonna get emotional regarding some shit. Okay. Another thing that can annoy people and push people's buttons is backstabbing. Okay. In other words, doing things behind people's back. One thing that we have seen, um, there have been accusations of individuals who would backstab others. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I say allegations, okay? Because here, we're not going to make any false claims. If we hear about people backstabbing, we're gonna think of it as alleged until it's been proven. But unfortunately, there have been people in these YouTube streets that have backstabbed others for multiple reasons. Uh, it could be out of revenge. It could be um, to try to gain something. It could be also because of jealousy. These are many reasons why people have backstabbed others. Okay. Another thing that can push people's buttons is that when they do not listen, okay, it could be very demoralizing, particularly if you're sharing um, topics which are very difficult for others to share, and they could be considered embarrassing for these individuals. So they're taking the time to share those things that they're concerned about, and they're not paying attention to what's being said. It can be very demoralizing, but it could be interpreted that they don't care about what they say. So one thing, when someone is speaking, please give them full attention, okay? Because I have seen people, when they're trying to talk with others, what they're doing, they're busy looking at their phones, they're busy texting, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm just as guilty as anybody else, so I'm not going to claim to be holier than thou. But um, going into the new year and actually going to now, I'm going to strive to make sure that that person has my full undivided attention. So therefore, that person can express themselves as they see fit. Another thing that can annoy people is trolling. Okay. What is that? That's when you go into other people's platforms for the sole purpose of trying to create division, um, to try to create an uncomfortable situation for anyone on the panel or anyone in the chat. Okay. Unfortunately, it is a fact of life that here at these YouTube streets, we're going to be dealing with people who go into troll. Okay. That's one of the main reasons that I have the enabled the subscribe mode function. Okay. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will have to subscribe. Okay. I mean, and what it does is, to a certain extent, it limits the involvement of the trolls. Not completely, but it limits. And the whole point, if you're going to troll me, at least subscribe to the channel. You shouldn't troll people to begin with, but it all depends on what level of trolling it's done. Okay. Another thing that can push people's minds, when you share in public items that was discussed in private. Okay. There is a reason why people ask you to keep it private. First of all, it could be embarrassing on the person that's sharing the information. Second, depending what is the nature of this information, it can cause harm on the person relaying the information. Should that information be disclosed in public? Now, we do have in our society certain individuals who has a responsibility to maintain confidentiality. Those are basically people like doctors, lawyers, social workers, therapists, okay, and if you are a member of the clergy, whether it be priests, whether it be rabbis, whether it be pastors, whether it be imams, or anyone that's in charge of a country. Okay. In fact, fun fact, in the Catholic Church, um, what's said in confession, a priest cannot reveal. No, even if the person has performed criminal activity. Now, what the priest can do is, if the person confessed to perform criminal activity, depending what is the nature of the offense, the priest can surrender themselves and go through the process of a trial and be properly punished. But they cannot violate the seal of privacy. There is a confidential, and you can't be sued for violating that trust. Okay, I mean, like in those terms, you share with someone something that's very personal and private, or it could be something that's very painful and embarrassing, and then the next thing you know, that information is being spread to others. Okay, so what you are doing is you're showing a total lack of respect to those people by revealing confidential information. I mean, think of it this way. If you decide to share it with your friend or your neighbor, whether it be it's time to kill the turkey, or whether it be it's time to go on a diet, or when you violate a person's privacy, sometimes that confidence never returns, which is why you should never, and I repeat, never share anything that's said in private and public, um, unless it's like something that's very important that can lead to people being. Another thing that can annoy people is I alluded to um, earlier, spreading lies, spreading falsehoods. Because what happens is when you spread lies and falsehoods, people are going to accept and believe what you say at face value. And it's particularly difficult when I'm just trying to I'm just my train of thought. Um, when those lies can lead to a person's reputation to be damaged, or their professional career to be damaged, or their professional career to be destroyed. Okay, we have seen this on multiple platforms where people have spread lies against others, and those lives have been damaged because no one bothered to sit down and think what they're saying is truthful or it's a falsehood. The next thing that causes people to be annoyed, pushes their buttons, and not respecting your space. Okay, no one, and I repeat, no one likes it when they put their finger in your face, or they come uncomfortably close to you, because they make things uncomfortable, and it could be considered very cringy. Okay, so I would suggest that you do what you can to respect other people's space. Now, the next thing can be annoying, and we were taught as children not to do this, and for the most part, people manage to avoid this, but sometimes people, uh, to annoy the dickens out of people, they do this, which is passing gas, otherwise known as farting. Okay, if you're going to break wind, so to speak, distance yourself from others. Okay, so therefore, if you decide to break wind, it will not be unpleasant to those nearby. Okay. Another thing, and again, this is something we all do when we were younger, which is burping. Okay. Now, sometimes we are going to burp. It's just that the thing is to do it quietly. There is no need for to know that you're burping at the top of your lungs. That's not necessary. So I'm gonna ask that please do not. I mean, if you do not burp, or if you got a burp, to say excuse me. Okay, at least show some manners. Okay. Another thing that could annoy people can push people's buttons is loud talking. First of all, unless you're completely hearing impaired, there's no need to be yelling, screaming, and what have you. There is no need for loud conversation. You just speak in a regular tone of voice, like I'm doing. Just try not to speak in a monotone where your voice does not modulate, where it sounds the same, because what you are doing, you are putting people to sleep. So just there's no need for yelling. There's no need of talking loud. Just talk in a regular voice where people can hear you without their eardrums being shattered. Okay. Now another thing that can really push people's button is betraying a trust, and it can happen in many ways. How do you betray a person's trust? One sure way is when you share confidential information that someone requested that you keep it private to yourself, and next thing you know it, you're telling everyone, and everyone is aware of your situation. And it could be something embarrassing, it could be something just a nuisance. So, and when you betray a person's trust, sometimes that trust never returns. All depends on what the person went through and what then their experiences. And if they get upset because people speaking out of their caps and their helmets and like in reasonable English, just bear in mind, most of us learn English, so do not betray people's trust. Okay. Now, something that's similar to this topic that can annoy people is when you gossip. Okay. And what is that? That's a situation where you hear about something. You need and okay, I'm just sorry, I'm just want to get my train of thought. When you gossip, what you're doing is just spreading falsehoods against people and becoming half truths. And unfortunately, there are some people that will believe the gossip and will not believe the truth. So therefore, when a person does say something truthful, no one pays any attention. So try to avoid gossiping at all times. Another thing that can be a nuisance to people is when you do not pay their debts. Okay. Now, if you lend someone money, I don't care what is the amount. It could be $5, it could be $50, it could be $500. But if you lend, excuse me, but if you lend people money or items, okay, in good faith, you need to return them in the same condition that you receive. And if for some reason you do borrow something or you do acquire a debt and you're having some difficulties, the best thing for you to do is just simply confess, own up to it, and recognize that
for the time being, you're not able to keep your promise, but you will in the near future. And that's also called accountability for your actions. And unfortunately, what we have seen here in these two streets is a lack of accountability regarding individuals. Now, this is extreme a case of what pushes your buttons. Well, this has to do when it comes to physical and emotional abuse. Um, I don't think I need to explain what is physical abuse. Basically, physical abuse is when you're abusing someone physically with a hammer or a nail or crushing or something of that nature. So then the fire person asks you, uh, what's that called again? Most of you are going to say no. Okay. So if you have that, try to pay off. And if you can't, be sincere and honest, explain why. And do what you can to make yourself um, responsible and capable. So the next thing that can uh, annoy people, and it's serious, is physical and emotional abuse. Unfortunately, we do have people that do abuse others, sometimes emotionally. How? By certain words, or certain actions, or certain beliefs. And it can be very devastating to the person that's being a victim of physical or emotional abuse. And what it does do, it creates many scars, and sometimes those scars can never be completely healed. And that leads me to my final thing that can push people's buttons is when people are being disrespectful. Now, disrespect could come in many ways and many forms. It could be disrespect regarding the beliefs. It could be disrespect regarding your views. It could be disrespect regarding the fact that you are in a relationship. It could be disrespect because you are crossing people's boundaries. So, when you disrespect others, what you're doing is you're showing that you don't care. Okay. Now I'm just gonna step away for a moment, and I'll be right back. Excuse me. Okay, I apologize. Just wanted to get something to drink because I have been talking for almost an hour, and my throat gets dry. Excuse me. And think of it, and also in this fashion. You want people to respect you, respect who you are, respect you as a person, respect your values, respect your beliefs. In fact, you respect your humanity. Okay, just bear in mind, respect goes both ways. Just as you want people to respect you, respect your views, your values, your beliefs. If you are in a relationship, then they should respect that and not try to meddle in your relationship, not try to meddle in your personal life or in your affairs. So, if you want people to show respect to you, you should show that same level of respect to others. Okay? And thus, in other words, do unto others that you want people to do to you. Okay. So I've been talking for almost an hour. Uh, the link is in. If anyone, I repeat, if anyone wants to join the panel, by all means, they may do so. If no one else wishes to join the panel, then what I will do is I will wrap this up and I will call it a night. So my question to all of you is the following: What are those things that pushes your buttons? Okay, and it could be any of the things that I alluded to tonight. It can also be other things that I didn't even touch. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. This is not um, a complete list of things that can push people's buttons. Um, it's a partial list, and it could be others. It's just that I decided to talk about 23 things that can push people's buttons. So I'm gonna ask that if anyone wishes to join the panel, they may do so. If anyone wishes to express a point of view, they can do it in the chat. Please bear in mind that if you're not a subscriber, you need to subscribe in order to enter a comment in the chat. Now, before some people say that it's not fair, because I have to do certain things to maintain a safe place for people to express their point of views. And unfortunately, this place has been invaded by trolls. So that's the reason why I take those precautions to try to minimize the involvement of the trolls. So again, the question is as follows: What are those things that pushes your buttons? And I want to make this also perfectly clear. I'm not here to cast judgment on anyone. Okay, it is not my place to do so. And also, what could be triggering to others is not triggering to some other people. So that's something that we must bear in mind and we must respect. Now, I see there's 4 people currently watching the stream. And for the benefit of those who are joining in now, the topic for tonight is what pushes your buttons? In other words, what are those things that people do that annoy you? And I mean annoy you. Okay. So this is your opportunity to share what's on your mind. Okay. If you choose not to, that's perfectly fine. Okay. And I see here now there are 5 people watching this stream. I'm just gonna ask that, as you can, please hit the like button. It does not hurt you, and it's not gonna cost you anything, but it does help algorithms. And also, just want to let everybody know that I currently have 191 subs. I would like to get up to 200 before the end of the year. So I'm gonna ask that please spread the word regarding this little platform. Okay. And like I said, if no one else joins the panel, I'm going to call it a night. Okay. And of course, there's always going to be times where I'm going to be the only one on the panel, which is why I try to have material that I can discuss. Generally, I try to have enough material to discuss for an hour. Sometimes I can stretch it for an hour, 15 minutes, or I think possibly an hour and a half. But after a while, you do have to call it a day. Now, as far as next week is concerned, I'm gonna have a stream on Sunday night. I also gonna have a stream Monday night, 8 o'clock. Wednesday, I'm gonna have a stream at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's not gonna be a stream on Thursday. I don't know if I'm gonna do a stream on Friday, but definitely Saturday, Christmas Eve, I will have a short stream with a short message regarding Christmas, and just simply to express my point of view regarding the holiday, and also expressing Christmas wishes to all the uncommon folk. Okay. So it looks like, I don't know, perhaps there are other streams that are going on tonight, but it is what it is. I want to let people know that you can also leave a comment after the stream is over regarding the topic, what pushes your buttons. All I ask is people, please, and I mean please, keep it respectable. You fail to do that, your comment will be deleted. It is as simple as that. So, that being said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this up. For other people will catch this stream later on. But I just wanted to give you my perspective regarding those things that pushes your buttons. So I just want to say thank you for all those who did stop by to see the stream live, and thank all those who did post a like. So that being said, I'm gonna call it a night. And I thank all those who either watch it live or watch it on the playback. So that being said, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing all of you a good night, and don't forget, this Thursday at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a stream regarding what we're not going to miss regarding 2022. So I'm going to share with you what those things we're not going to miss regarding the year. So let's just have a conversation regarding that. That being said, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, wishing you all a pleasant night and peace.
Be strong.